You know, I don't know.
Hello, this is the Marcus Allen Frishman live stream, a weekly live stream where we hope to entertain you and make you happy. That's right. We want to make you guys happy and cheery. Guys, I'm back in Brisbane because I spent a lot of time overseas. I went to Geneva. I went to Shenzhen, China. I went to Macau. I went everywhere, man. I went everywhere. And I had a great trip. I had a fantastic trip. So that was really quite amazing. It was really quite amazing. So anyhow, guys, the good news is I am back in the saddle, making content with my good friend, Mr. Frishman. So good to see you, and thank you for coming back here. Guys, today I want to talk to Mr. Frishman about life. People are getting a little bit sidetracked there, but please, if you have a question, super chat your question and we will answer it. So guys, I want to show you, firstly, I want to show Marcus. I've come back to Australia. I want to show you very quickly. This is my new watch box. I'll show you my watch box, Marcus. I got this when I was in Geneva. One of my fans. This is a watch box. It's from a company called Report.
It's lovely.
This is about $1,100, $1,100 US. And what they do is it's made of real wood. It's real wood. And it's got a green tinge to it, which I really like because one of my favorite brands is Rolex. One of my favorite brands. The green tinge reminds me of the Rolex boxes. So this box is fucking heavy. It's so heavy. Let's have a look. Now, for you, Marcus, I have actually got all my watches out to show you. Da-da-da-da. We open the box. And let's have a look on the screen there. Have a look.
A hunter green glazed elegant box, Archie.
We all like a good box. You know that?
I keep my watches in drawers, all locked up, of course, but I wish I had a good box. I was gifted a box that I use for travel.
This box itself here, I'll tell you, I'm going to pull up a photo because the photos are better than me actually holding the things up. But this collection here that you see on the screen here, let's have a look. And I just want to show it to my good friend Marcus. So if you have a look at this photo here, you can see the top row is actually my Breguets. That's a Breguet Type 21. That's of course no gold plating here. When you see gold, that's solid gold. That's the Breguet chronograph. I took that to Geneva. Got a lot of respect, I must say.
Which
the next one is the yeah, I had that one. Next one is the Traditional. You can see it's like an old. You can see the moving parts. The next Breguet is a enamel dial, just a very classic dress watch. And last here is a Jaeger LeCoultre master compressor. This is a dive watch chronograph. It's got the big chunky pushers because they got water. It's how it locks it in to stop water going in. So that's the top row. The bottom row in the corner, we got my Patek. I've only got one Patek in my possession. White gold world time. I took that to Geneva. The next one is a Zenith open heart chronograph. Then we've got an Omega Speedmaster. And then a Rolex Explorer 2. So, guys, that is the collection.
Archie, I own two of those watches, the Rolex Explorer and the Moon Watch. They're fabulous watches.
Absolutely. I mean, the truth is, if you're an American,
watches in the last couple of videos, but I brought again to revisit my last show with you, where I watched. I wore the Blancpain 50 Fathoms in.
Actually, I went when I was overseas. I went to the Blancpain boutique. They are absolute. You know what I love about that watch is the bezel. It's like it's got a very lacquered appeal to the bezel. It's so gorgeous. What size is that, Marcus?
Oh, that hat. You know, Archie, it could be 43. I don't remember. It has an odd. It also has an odd bracelet size. It is the titanium version, and it is only 2 years old, so it was.
It's beautiful. And you've got your gold sub as well, haven't you?
Yes, I'll bring that out next week. This is the first show where I brought out the Submariner on steroids called the Deep Sea.
And that's the James Cameron version you've got there. That's
the Cameron version. And today I'm wearing the first iteration.
The smiley face Tudor Burgundy, which has got the ETA movement, which has become quite collectible now.
Yes, it's the ED. You knew that immediately when you saw that.
Yeah.
That's
No. I know exactly. I know what that is. That's you know what? I fucking gave my son. My son turned. In my family, I like to give my children, once they become a certain age, a watch. And my youngest son, I just gave him a Tudor Burgundy. And I got to tell you something. I cannot think of a better watch. You know, I had a dealer friend of mine, Shani from European Watch Gallery. He's the #1 watch dealer in Australia, pre-owned watch dealer. And I said to him, what do you think if you only had one watch, what would it be? And he said, Tudor Black Bay. He said, for the money, amazing bang per buck. It's all you ever need. It's on a bracelet. You can swim with it. It's waterproof. It is so versatile.
And it is particularly gorgeous.
Yes. You know what? I'm actually thinking of getting one again. They are
You prefer the one with the ETA movement before Rolex Tudor went to its in-house movement on this, huh?
Look, what I like about the I actually like the people don't like the faux rivets on the model with the in-house. They added fake rivet bracelet look, but this one is actually, I got to be honest, that's the one to have. The one you've got there. I'll just show you two other watches that weren't in my box.
You can remind me when I bought it. I think it's 2008, 9, 10.
This is my second. I got two more watches to show you. So there were 8 in the box. I've also got this Panerai. Now, I don't know if you noticed the strap. It's a very washed out blue. I just bought that. That's an original Panerai strap. I just bought that in Geneva.
Looks like suede or...
Yeah, it's a suede. It's so fucking amazing. And the second watch, of course, two-tone blue Z. Two-tone blue Z. And Marcus Allen, I want to show you one more thing. Can I show you one more thing?
Have at it.
I'm a huge fountain pen and pen collector.
I brought 2 pens up for you.
Now,
2
I'll
pens
show
for
you.
me.
This is my little collection here. So starting at the end here, we got my that's the Montegrappa. That's my most expensive pen. That's very expensive. I've got a OMMANEY. It's called an OMMANEY 360. It's like a triangular pen. Mont Blanc 149. This is a Cartier fountain pen. Dunhill fountain pen. Cartier ball pen. Mont Blanc. That's a Breguet promotional pen. Cartier, Dunhill, and Dunhill. So that's and I love fountain pens. One thing I've also fallen in love with, Marcus, is stamping. I like a wax seal. Sending letters out. I put a wax seal on the end. You know, wax seals. You know what I mean.
Seal. I actually own the wax and the seal, and have never used it.
Oh, Marcus, let me tell you so. I love doing letters and sealing it with a wax seals. Nothing. It's just so Breguet. It's so Breguet. Now,
Archie. It is so Archie because Archie is a gentleman. You can see the signals when he wears cuff links on his shirt. You can see it that he wears T-shirts under his suit. You can see it when he wears and displays certain things. I today have 2 pens that belong to gentlemen.
Yep.
Me.
Yep.
One is the Visconti, and it's called the Homo sapien, and it's a fountain pen. And the reason, and do you see that attachment?
Yeah.
It's a complicated little mechanical attachment. This is called the Homo sapien, and if you look really closely, you can see this is made out of volcanic rock and bronze.
Wow.
The metal is bronze, solid. The tip is gold and some other metals on the nib. And they make a ballpoint pen, which I also have. Probably my best writer, the Visconti Homo sapien in the volcanic rock, solid volcanic rock, blended with some sort of adhesive, gluish gel stuff put into bronze metal. It's just beautiful.
I love it.
I absolutely. You can see the difference in size. What's happening here? There we go.
I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. Let me tell you that. I absolutely love it. Now, okay, we've had a bit of an introduction. Today, I want to talk to you about something, okay? Okay, let's face it.
Hold on, Archie. My 1980s BlackBerry's ringing. Let me turn it off. Hold on. See, I know Archie's a man of the 80s, so I brought out my BlackBerry.
Oh, man, I love the 80s, don't you?
The 80s were the greatest. The movies, the music.
Reaganomics. We had Reaganomics.
Reagan. Everything.
We had Marcos in the Philippines.
We had fashion that I still wear, fashion of the 80s. Pleated pants, Archie. T-shirts.
One of my favorite. And, we had movies. We had movies like Porky's, Revenge of the Nerds.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I mean, fuck.
How about A Scent of a Woman?
Yes. Yes. We had, at the end of the 80s, I remember Die Hard. Remember Die Hard? Yippee-yay-yay, motherfucker!
The Christmas movie or the Thanksgiving movie. I can't recall. But yes.
Yeah, that's right. They were in Yamasaki Tower. Yamasaki Tower. You know that? Remember that? They were stuck inside that tower, Yamasaki.
By the way, that's in Century City, Los Angeles. How about planes, trains, and automobiles?
Yes. This is the most expensive watch ever made. Remember that? He's trying to get the bed.
You remember John Candy takes off his watch and he says, what was it? Seiko?
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Hey, Marcus, I want to discuss with you. I'm in my 50s. I'm turning 53 in October. You have never revealed your age, which is fair enough, but let's just say we're not that far apart.
Well, one never asks a gentleman his age, Archie, but a gentleman never lies about his age. Remember
Now,
that.
what I wanted to ask you is this. What I'm trying to say is we have been around the block a few times. This is not our first rodeo. We've been around the block a few times. We've had good luck and bad luck. I did a bit of research on you. You've had your own troubles with a certain BMW, and
let's tell that story. Somebody's asking me in the chat, how about when he stole the car? Well, I didn't steal any car, but we can discuss it. Let's do it when you're ready.
Yeah, I must admit. By the way, Marcus, I actually have that car just out of interest for you.
Oh,
look at this! This is the exact model that car was.
Yes, I have it in. I have that car in my. I have that toy in the garage. Yes, it is the exact model. I've actually owned 4 BMWs pre my 6 Porsches. So that was my car, and in between my cars, I had I rented exotic cars, Archie. I rented exotic cars routinely when I was in college.
Exotic. By the way, Marcus Allen, can I show you my dream cars at the moment?
What is it?
I got 2 dream cars.
Let me tell you mine before you show it to see if it matches.
Okay.
I would love to have a powder baby blue Bentley convertible.
Okay. Marcus. This is my dream car. Instead of powder blue, I've gone for metallic brown.
Well, that's the car I just referred to. Oh, they do I'm not a blue guy, but boy, do they do a blue that
I know. I'm not a brown guy, but hey, it's
you're right about that, brown, and I'm not a brown guy, although I have a friend named Travis who thinks I wear only brown. I don't know what that's about. But
actually, to tell you the truth, I've fallen in love with brown. I love brown shoes. I really fucking adore brown straps on a watch. So,
brown.
Can I show you my other dream car? I've got 2.
Should be brown or black. Yeah.
So I've got this one here, and I've got another dream car. Can I show it to you?
Well, all right, let me tell you my next dream car before you show it. Okay. My next dream car is the old 2-seater Jaguar XJ6, was it called? Pardon me, XJ12 from the late 60s. That, when I was in high school, was the car I wanted. My dad would never buy it for me.
Okay, so that was an E-Type.
Right.
Because the XJ6, that came out in the mid-70s. 1975 it came out. So for late 60s.
This is a tiny sports car that they never repeated. Yeah.
Yeah, that was okay, so I'll show you my dream car. Unfortunately, it's different to yours, but it's a Bentley Mulsanne.
Oh, well, it's too big for me, Archie.
It is too big. I totally agree there, but okay.
I mean, I wouldn't turn it away if my girlfriend bought it as a gift.
Car story. Let's mention what happened. So basically, you hired a lot of cars, and there was a small discrepancy. You accidentally didn't realize that the car had to be returned.
No. Let me tell you the story.
Okay.
So I used to rent exotic cars on a regular basis, even though I had a very nice car myself. And we would go to Beverly Hills. I believe it was Beverly Hills Budget back in the day when I was in college. And that was the 90s, plus and minus. And 1990, so 89, 90, 91, whatever the years were. And we would rent, I would rent these cars. It would be put on my American Express card. And my father would have to pay that bill. And he always griped about, what are you doing with another? And these cars rented, I took out simple exotic cars. So they would go for 150 to 250 a day. We drive, if you know the geography, we'd go from Los Angeles to Palm Springs, spend a weekend with my buddies, come back, turn the car in. I did the same thing But in this case, I was visiting a friend in Arizona. I presented my valid driver's license. I presented my valid credit card. It was an American Express Platinum or Gold, whatever it was at the time. And I checked out the car. And I spent the weekend or several days, however long it was, in Arizona. And I drove the car back from Arizona to Los Angeles. And I knew that the car had to be returned. It was being paid. It was a long-term rental. And part of it was paid. I, at that point, had what my friends call the Regal debacle. A friend of mine, Travis, wrote a poem about it. What happened was my parents cut me off. They decided to retire to Palm Beach. They left. I was left high and dry. I was no longer able to pay. I had a third party paying my American Express card and other expenses. All of that stopped. So I was cut off completely. In the end, I was evicted from my student residence at USC, University of Southern California. I kept that car and did not return it. It remained unpaid, and among other things. So that's the stage set. And what happened was in California, there is a very specific law, and it turns a collection matter into a misdemeanor criminal charge. If you're given a car by a bank in a loan, a bank in a lease, a rental company, or if your mom and dad just hand you the keys to the car, when you take legal possession of a vehicle with permission, and that permission gets revoked, pulled back by the bank because you didn't pay the bill, the lease company, your mom and dad, whoever, it's called joyriding, the unlawful possession of a vehicle, because the possession has ended. So when I was pulled over by the police, it was a bad day for me. In the end, I went into the district attorney's office with the statute, and I said to the DA, here's the crime that I committed. I paid part of, but not all of this bill. I kept it. They reported it stolen. It was paid for by the insurance company. They got it back now. I wish to plead no contest to the charge of what's commonly known as joyriding, misdemeanor, like a moving violation of sorts, and it was it's the unlawful driving of a vehicle. I think I got 300 hours of community service. I think I was processed into the Lost Hills Sheriff Station, which is a local sheriff station in the town of Calabasas, then processed out. And I don't believe there was any fines. There was no restitution, because here's why. The insurance company paid the rent-a-car company more than they had bought it for, which was an odd anomaly. And then the insurance company sold it for more than they paid back to the rent-a-car company. So no one had any losses. So there was no restitution required. It was a misdemeanor charge. At the end of all of it, the judge dismissed, I should say, after sentencing, so I want to be clear, the charges were dismissed retroactively. I have the form somewhere. I could cite the form, but essentially the judge recreates history by saying charges dropped. That's the legal terminology. Not expunged, not reversed, dropped. Does it retroactively. So I never have to admit to ever having had the conviction of that misdemeanor. That is the story. When I ran for city council, of course, I disclosed the good, the bad, and the ugly, even though the law says I don't have to disclose that to anybody. When I applied for jobs, because I'm a career political appointee, and I don't have to disclose it, I disclose it in almost all instances. There were a couple it wasn't worthy. And there was this local paper when I ran for city council that put out, this local trashy paper that put out a little story that said, Frishman stole a car. Car theft's a felony. And he paid no restitution. Load of that. Well, of course, I didn't pay restitution because no restitution was ordered or owed. And there was no felony. It was no car theft. I wasn't even accused or investigated for that. It was a legally possessed vehicle that I could no longer pay. A third party was paying it for me anyway. And I chose not to return it or pay the bill. I was living at the University of Southern California at the time, a student, and we make bad decisions. But when I was cut off, I didn't know what to do.
Did they reinstate the stipend?
The stipend? What do you mean?
The money? Did they reinstate the flow of cash to you?
Oh, no. I was cut off and completely. And I had quite a hefty budget. My parents went to Palm Beach. They retired there. They cut off contact, not love. It was like tough love, as my mother in the end explained it about 2 years later. I went out and got a job, Archie. I went to a dating service, was paid pretty good bucks back then for a minimal job. I was paid $12 an hour, worked full time for a year and a half at great expectations, matching people up, creating love, creating marriages. And oh my God, the most rewarding job I've ever had in my life. If I could go back now, if I could have never left, but at $12 an hour, you got to go on to something else. So that's what I did. I had to leave my university apartment and I had to rent a guest house on my new budget in the San Fernando Valley in Los Angeles. And then quickly I was appointed by an elected official to another job, and then another elected official to another job, and then another elected official to another job. And pre-college, I served as an appointee of 2 elected officials. So this moment in my life was rather difficult, but not something I couldn't imagine. And in hindsight, let me end it this way. As I like to say, I never moved out of home. My parents did. And I used to go back on the weekends for my college pad, and they left, sold that house, and stopped paying my college pad, and a little bit.
Hey, I got a story about that. I'll carry on 1 minute. Randall Capel, $5. Archie, can you say hello to my wife, Brittany? Hello, Brittany. She's a huge fan of your channel. Let me tell you something.
Hey, Archie, for another $5, I will say hello to his wife.
There we go. Let me tell you a story then. You mentioned that your parents moved out of your house.
Yeah.
I got to tell you a story. You see this house I'm in, the studio I'm in, this is actually my childhood home. Anyhow, what I want to say to you is I've lived in this house since 1975.
An ancestral home. Is that commonplace in Australia?
What's that? Sorry?
I called it an ancestral home. Is that commonplace in Australia to live?
No, it's not. No, it's very rare. Okay. So this house here, what happened was my dad remarried and I didn't quite get on with his new wife, but I had a business going. I was selling computer equipment. And I continued. I said to him, I'll rent the house. You move out. So he moved out and bought another house.
Oh.
And I stayed here and continued to live here, and I paid rent. It was $150 a week.
Oh, God. I wasn't that lucky.
That was in 1988. And let me tell you another thing. I remember one time my dad, there was a crossover between parental care and, landlord-tenant relationship. One time he got upset with the house not being as clean as he would have liked. Okay. And I remember he and my stepbrother and sister and my other brother came into the house to give it a clean up because my dad went into a huge puff. And they went into the room where the TV was. And to this day, I've never had the courage to ask for this back. I had some adult videos lying about, and I never got them back. And I've never had the courage to say, where the fuck did you put my videos?
Well, we're in
the end of the day, I said, I'm a tenant paying rent. I can do what I want. We've got another super chat in. Randall Cooper, $5. Archie, your thoughts on the new Pelagos Ultra? Just ordered one, 8,400 Aussie.
I own the Pelagos pure titanium, and I bought it about a year after I bought this. So you could remind me what year that was. But yeah, I own that.
I got to be totally honest with you. I like Tudor. I like Tudor a lot. The only thing is, I'm not sure. I'll be honest with you. I don't know whether I would actually be buying a new Tudor at the moment. I don't know if I would be buying a new Tudor at the moment. What I like to do is I like to buy my Tudors. I like to buy my Tudors on the pre-owned market. Okay, so to be completely honest with you, I actually love it. I'm going to pull it up now. Let's get this fucker on the screen now. Let's get her up on the screen. It's on the screen. This is what she looks like. It's 43 mil. It's made of titanium. And I think it's just such a beautiful modern watch. I really love it. However,
I have that watch.
I'm not sure I would pay retail. Okay, that's the problem. You buy it too soon for $8,000. You know what? I would, for $8,000. I think I would do better on the pre-owned market. I'm a pre-owned buyer.
Archie, have you ever seen the class? Have you ever seen the class?
Let me tell you this. Okay. So my Black Bay, the last Black Bay I bought it from Madman. So that was a Tudor Burgundy, very similar to Marcus's one, but it's the one after it with the in-house movement. I paid about 3,300 Aussie, which is about 2,500 US. Okay, that's secondhand. I buy used. I want to get value. 8,800 is a lot of money. Is it a great watch? I think it's a fabulous watch, but I would not be buying new. I'd be waiting a couple years. Personally, I think it's a fantastic watch. It's beautiful. I love it. I definitely could rock this watch. However, you know what? Let me tell you this, to put that in perspective. My Pam, I paid for this Pam 7,000 Aussie. The straps cost me about $600. So $7,500 with 2 new straps. I'd rather buy that because this watch retails for about $15,000. So I'd rather have put my money into something I can step out of. But is it a bad watch? No, it's fucking gorgeous. It's beautiful. It's amazing watch. Now, Marcus, we've got to get back into the business. Today's topic, I got a topic, and I'm going to write these down.
What's the topic?
So basically, we have lived life, okay? We've been around the block. I want you to tell me 10 things every man needs. Okay, so we will start the list. Let me just give you some ideas, okay? 10 things every man needs.
I wasn't prepared for this list, so it's off the cuff.
No, that's perfect. I don't want it rehearsed.
Well, I don't mean rehearsed.
Let me go through some of the things, okay?
Yeah,
what does every man need? I think every man needs a car. Every man needs a watch. Every man needs a pen. Every man needs a suit. Every man needs cufflinks. Every man needs a suitcase. Every man needs, let's go through what else he needs there. He needs sunglasses. Would you disagree with this list so far?
I'm not a cufflink man personally. I told you that last week, but so far everything on the list should be on there.
They're essential fuckers, aren't they? Right? So we got 1, 2, 3. Now we haven't mentioned the brands yet because that's where you come in. where you tell me what sort of car a man should have, what sort of
Archie.
watch he should have. This is
You have forgotten the number 1 and number 2 on the list in that order.
yes.
In that order, every man needs to be God-based. I don't want to get into religion, but whether you're Christian or Jewish, you need to have values that are God-based, and you have to live your life in a proper value-based way. You must. Religion is the foundation for that. But any way you get to, for me, but any way you get to being a good man with God-based values is number 1. Number 2, you have to have a good woman, because the key to being a good man is a good woman in your life. Men will deviate from goodness. It's a fact, it's an empirical fact. That ain't my opinion. If you check out, have a minor in psychology for what it's worth, you will learn this. A woman can tame a man, and a woman brings a man into center of life.
You have Miss Twinkie. You have Miss Twinkie.
Winkle. I have Miss Winkle. Here's
Just
a latest picture of Miss Winkle and I. Let's put it up it's on my phone as a cover. Where the hell is it? There it is. There's Miss Winkle. 8 years together. All right. Now, that's number 1 and number 2. Otherwise, everything on your list I agree with.
besides the cufflinks.
Aside from the cufflinks.
Now we've got another super chat. Scott Conway, $10. Archie, say hello to my childhood friend Marcus Allen. Scott
Conway
Conway
is my longest friend, meaning I don't know anybody in my current life that predates meeting him. And I met him in grade school. He's just a fabulous guy. He's such a gentle person. And there's a guy that has some God base, and his parents, God bless them, are still alive, unlike mine. And I have lunch with him regularly. He's a good man. Thank you, Scott Conway. You didn't have to do that here for me or Archie.
Thank you, Scott Conway. And we've got Patel Philippe, $2. Frishman, what happened to your gold sub? Now, actually, if you were listening before, he still has it.
Do you want me to get it, Archie?
No, next week. Next week will be fine. It's still there. He's just put it away for safekeeping. Obviously, you can understand. It needs to be.
It's a bluesy, 19-karat solid gold. None of this white gold stuff. Bluesy. And it was locked in a safe for 10 years before I bought it. And that's why the blue is still blue, hasn't faded to purple. It is a 1991 model. Forgive me, Archie, I don't know the numbers. And it is...
So it'd be a 16618. That'd be the reference number. So it's it's aluminum bezel. That's actually, 1991, that'd be an L serial number, I think, around that sort of...
amazing, Archie. I had it refurbished, reconditioned by Rolex Asia once. I know people don't like that, but I like a watch that looks new.
No, and there's nothing wrong with that there. You love the important thing is you love your watch.
I will tell you this, the full service at Rolex Philippines, which is a massive building run by a bunch of German people, they charge $795 for a full maximum service. And even the parts, if they do a part replacement and then keep the old parts because they won't give them back to you, are less than what appeared to be a price point of $1,700 at the time in Rolex Beverly Hills, the same company, different countries, just so you know.
Oh, that's very interesting information there, I must say.
It was valuable. In fact, I brought the 3 Rolex to the Philippines the next time, and I got my I have other Rolex. I should bring them all up next week. I'll bring all my Rolexes up. Because
we do love, I must tell you, we do love Rolex. Rolex is a very special brand for us. I wanted to, before we go through this list, I'm just trying to find something on my phone. Just excuse me for being not so prepared, because I never know with Marcus Allen. You never know which way, which way but
tell
lose.
A story about how I snuck in to meet the president, George Bush. unsuccessfully, but that was only because of the Secret Service encounter. But it is a fabulous story, and I wanted to tell the story of how I was a driver in a vice presidential motorcade of Dan Quayle when I was in college, and or just after, and how
Before we do that, we need some religious inspiration. I need some religious inspiration. I'm just bringing some religious inspiration up now.
Well,
you mentioned spirituality, and it is Easter.
Yeah, well, let me
You mentioned spirituality, so it is Easter, and I want to share some spirituality from China with you, if you don't mind there. So I was actually... Sorry?
That Red China spiritual reality?
Yes. So I was in China, and I was eating one of my favorite dishes, Beijing duck. Okay, and they make these duck rolls out of them. They basically got some cucumber and onion, and there's duck roll with duck sauce. They make these into a delicious duck wrap. Okay, they make them into a very delicious duck wrap, which are absolutely delightful. And what I wanted to show you is on the box, this embeds... This is their God, because everybody has different gods. You've got Judaism, you've got Islam, you've got Christianity. The Chinese also have their own gods themselves there. And we don't want to say one religion is better than the other. Not on the Alan Frishman, not on the Marcus Alan Frishman show. So this is the Chinese God on the duck box. Okay, here we go. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Make a lot of money. Get rich. Money, money, money. That is my God there, Mr. Frishman.
Well, I'm impressed, Archie. I think
it's a bit of Reaganomics. Look at that. Make a lot of money. Get rich. Money, money, money. Get rich, fuckers. And lucky, lucky, lucky. Make a lot of money. You know the Pet Shop Boys. Let's make money. You know Pet Shop Boys?
Yes, they're great.
West End Town. And they had that.
Great. Western. You know who we need to send some of that duck to, Beijing duck, to your follower, Yuri Nator, who deserves a little prayer maybe right now because his heart is not soft. But send him something like that, and let's pray for Yuri tonight.
Yes, we got a Patel Philippe, $2. Fake Rolex, the only God is Patek. That's from Patel Philippe. And Dirk Diggler, $5. I went to church today and felt the power of the Lord. God bless, and remember, Jesus died for your sins. Remember, sex tourism is a sin. By the way, Marcus, your words last week have touched me. I have so much thought about your words.
Which ones?
That's when you said to me that if you marry a lady in an impoverished country, you never really know if she loves you for yourself or your money. You need to
marry. Yes, but I added a component. I recommended dating women from wealthy families. I learned that within my first visit to the Philippines. Don't hang.
And Miss Winkle is from a wealthy family, isn't she?
Yes, of course.
Thank you. Now, let's go through the list. What sort of car should a man have? Please tell us.
Well,
you're going through the list. 10 things every man lives. What do they need? What sort of car should a man have?
I think the all-around best car, just generally best, without an exotic component to it.
You don't need to explain. You just tell me your choice.
BMW 3 Series.
Huh? Hey, look, you don't need to lick my asshole, Marcus.
I'm sorry, Archie.
You don't need to lick my asshole, okay? You don't need to do that. Why do you say BMW 3 Series? Because
I think it's an excellent handling car. It is an excellent priced car. I've had 4 of them. It is just fat, including the one, sadly, that I had to plead the misdemeanor to for keeping it too long on the rental. But it was a great.
That's just a confusion. That's just confusion. Okay. That's just a little misunderstanding. You didn't even serve time for it, okay?
No, the story that hit the stupid paper called the Acorn, which is a throwaway that arrives at 8,000 homes in a small neighborhood, said it was a felony and said that I was put in jail. Whatever it said, it was all wrong. The charges were dismissed in the end, and I've said it now twice, so it's clear. But I can't help but notice in the comments last week all the people that thought I was gay. Now, I don't put gay people down. I respect them. I have some of the closest friends of mine are gay. Some of my clients are gay, and I love gay people, but I don't have a gay bone in my body. I am 100% heterosexual. And in fact, I am so, let's say, personally gay phobic that when I say that, it means I would never partake in anything related to physical developments with a man. Okay, it's just not for me. I respect people that are gay. That's fine. I understand it. It's fine. I can't wrap my head around ladyboys. I don't get it. I frankly, I have to say what I think. I think it's sick. I think it's a problem. But I think people are born gay. I think God creates gay people for whatever reason, and they live their life the way they should be living. And you should never do anything to put those kinds of people down or have any prejudice against them. Yeah.
No, I totally, I got to be honest with you. I think gay people, I love gay men. I've always said I love gay men. Some of my best friends are gay. By the way, that's my 3 Series. I don't know if you noticed here. I've gone for the blackout look. What do you think of the gangster blacked out wheels, blacked out front grille, and all the chrome has been blacked out. Blacked out mirrors.
That's a thing. Cars are coming with the black option now.
Well, this is all factory, Marcus.
Yeah,
this is not aftermarket. This is how it came from the factory. And as you said there, I don't know if you see here, that's my wife's Audi behind the BMW. That's my wife's Audi. Okay. That's my wife's Audi. And behind there, you can see, is actually our Civic we had before that. So that's our 3 cars all lined up.
Is that an Audi Q3?
Actually, in Australia, we also have a thing called a. That's my. I don't know why I got this.
The red car, is it a Q3? Is what I'm asking.
It's actually a Q. Believe it or not, it's a Q2.
Oh, that sounds better.
That?
It sounds like it's smaller. I love
it. It is slightly smaller. That's exactly what it is. It is slightly
just so you know, it has
smaller.
With some adjustments. It has the same engine as the current Porsche Macan, because the Porsche Macan is using the Audi engines now. They don't use the Porsche engines since they've merged these companies. And
exactly.
Q3, very similar to this car. I was just driving for 3 months as a loaner because my Porsche was in a significant repair that was just sitting there due to parts being ordered, but it wasn't really in repair. But I drove it for 3 months. I was quite impressed with it. It drives almost as good as the Porsche.
Actually, can I tell you something? Let me just make a confession with you there. My wife wanted a baby SUV, okay? But I must tell you one thing, comparing the Audi to the BMW, what you find, okay, if you want to get technical, and Marcus is a Porsche man, you really want rear wheel drive, and you want to have a low center of gravity. Because if the car is high, when you go around corners, it becomes very unstable. So what makes the Porsche and the 3 Series so good is the fact that they have a thing called a low center of gravity, which means it's got less chance of toppling over. And I got to tell you, Marcus, I tend to agree with you. I think you have Nailed it. I didn't even. You're not bribed here. I would say also, wouldn't you say? I love the Porsches, the Cayman. What do you think of the Cayman as a car? Could you, instead of the 3 Series, could you get away with a Cayman? Or that's more purist.
My first Porsche was a Boxer Anniversary Edition, 1953, handmade in the world. My second and third and fourth Porsche was the Cayman. Here's something interesting about the Cayman. At any price point, with any car in the world, on street or off street, it is the best handling car in the world at any price point, commercial cars or race cars, because it actually has an absolute, after 2017, forgive me if I'm wrong of the year, it has an absolute 50-50 balance of weight. The engine is kind of centered, and they put more weight on the front, and it balances. That, along with its low profile, makes it like it's running on railroad tracks.
Low center of gravity, center of gravity.
Like,
and that's the reason you can go around a roundabout faster in a Porsche than an SUV, okay? Because an SUV...
Here's my Porsche. Whoops.
So bring that up again.
Let's put that up again. And this is a 911. This is my Porsche, picture taken last week when I got it back from the shop. This Porsche, while it's like a rocket, unlike the Cayman, it would never handle like the Cayman. It just doesn't.
No.
You know.
No. I think you're 100% right there. Okay. I tend to agree with you there. Next question there is, what watch do you think, just one watch? Oh, that's beautiful. I love the interior. What watch what watch must he have?
There's only one watch, and I would say it is the smaller version of this. It is the simple Rolex Submariner. Every man should have it. And the newest model is probably the most fabulous because of its size and will fit under a
but the reality is you don't have to have the latest model because they're timeless. It's not like a GM Cadillac or a GM car that every model looked radically different. It's very
there are subtleties to the design that I think the most current model is the most beautiful.
Oh, I would agree with you there. And you can have it in steel, two-tone, or solid gold, preferably solid gold if you can afford it.
I like the steel with no date. I had the steel with no date. I traded it in and then cut an additional check of $6,000 for this a few years ago. Yeah,
that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Just hang on one tick there. One tick. Yes, darling. Yes, you want? Sure. Are you eating lunch here? Yes. Okay. Okay, thank you. Don't overcook it. I like it raw.
Magic Force wants to know why I'm here all the time. It's my show. If you check it, it's called the Marcus Allen Frishman Show. It ain't the Archie Show. He is the producer. He is the director. He is the coordinator. He is everything else in the credits. But it is, in fact, my show. So welcome to my show. That's why I'm here all the time, once a week, Friday or Saturday night, 6:30. And Archie is so generous because I'm only here because of Archie. And we have been acquaintances. I invited Archie to meet me when he came to California a couple of years ago, and he missed out. He couldn't link up with me. He was too busy with groups of fans. And I tried to buy a watch with Archie in 2016 or 17. He was selling his 18-karat gold bluesy Rolex. And I sent him a message, and he did a video trying to reach me, calling me this I don't know what he called me, some names, and said, this American living in the Philippines and California. And he started to call me, and it was all videotaped. He never did reach me, of course, because of the time changes. But we stayed in touch, and I was just a fan. Although I should point out, I had my own TikTok channel. I did generate 4 million viewers in 16 weeks. And the analytics said I was 187% more popular than anyone in the world on TikTok at that time. And I was doing it, love advice, business advice videos. I won't explain why I left right now, but I did after 18 weeks.
I agree with you. I think a man needs a Rolex Submariner because it's such a, I mean, everything else is secondary. A Rolex is all you really need. A Submariner is, you know what? I love the timer. You park your car, you can set the timer so you know how long you've parked.
I do it all the
You're
time.
cooking on the barbecue, you can set your timer. You can do, and the thing is, I've gone for the two-tone, okay? I have a two-tone. Let me show you my one here. I got the two-tone. And I got to tell you, so mine is actually not the latest. It's actually the previous model.
It's beautiful, Archie. It's beautiful.
It is.
I gotta say something to your follower, Green Rush. I'm glad he's here. He is so happy to see me and says I'm handsome. So I of course want to acknowledge he's absolutely right, and I'm glad he's here.
I got to tell you, as far as the two-tone Rolex goes, steel, two-tone, or solid gold, and I think then if you've got more money, you can get another piece. But I would say this is the most perfect watch because that's all a man really needs. That is it. Now, next thing is a pen. What sort of pen does a man need, Marcus?
Well, you know, I'm a fountain pen lover, but I got to tell you, I keep a ballpoint pen with me all the time. I stay away from now I could say this pen, but it's not realistic. I would say I
would say, look, generally speaking, a quality pen he needs. A quality pen.
But it has to be a spectacular pen. Now, I will give you a name. There's a company called Mont Blanc. If you drop it, it's going to break in an instant unless you buy one of their metal version pens.
Here we go. I've got two of them here. Look at this. Here's actually two Mont Blancs.
Don't drop it.
So basically, there we go. There's the black one, which is the plastic, and this is the half plastic, which actually, if you drop it, you'll also ding the silver.
Okay.
So the gold part is actually silver. It's actually silver with gold plating.
Remember, we have to talk about the average man.
Look at the burgundy. Also, they don't do the burgundy anymore. That would go so well with your Tudor. You know, your Tudor. That would go so well with the Tudor. And
I'm going to tell you a brand of watch that I buy as gifts, and it's the Cross. It's the Cross. Forgive me, I'm forgetting the traditional
pen.
No, the Cross
Hey,
pen.
Stop. Can you just stop for 1 minute? I want to show you something. Stop.
I've stopped. Here's a Cross.
I just bought this on Fleabay for myself. Look at this.
Yes. This was sent to me by my bank. It has my name on it.
And look at this. This is a special version.
That's what I mean.
These are the Caterpillar version. Look at this. These were Caterpillar for Caterpillar people. When you bought a bulldozer, they gave you a set.
Every gentleman has to have a pen.
You know, Cross, I tell you, Cross is an American company.
That's right.
They're not considered the most luxurious, but I must tell you something. They are fucking the attention to detail. I've gone back to Cross. I had a problem with a Cross pen. They fucking honored it under. They said we'll do it for free, sir, to as a goodwill gesture. They are absolutely. I got to tell you this. Amazing company.
Mont Blanc is overrated, but it is clearly has snob appeal. So you have to own one. It is. I hesitated recommending it, but truthfully, Cross and Mont Blanc are the two pens you should start with.
And I got the Cross pen and pencil. You know, the pencil. These are just so. I bought this on eBay because I remember Cross is such a great brand.
Are you using a pencil much?
Actually, you know what? I do use a bit of pencil. I actually take pencils from hotels I stay at. I take them as souvenirs. I don't mind pencil. I actually don't mind. I'm starting to like pencil, but I must confess to you, all my love letters, I use fountain pen. Okay.
Yes.
And I'll tell you something at the moment.
Yes.
I didn't tell you this. I'm actually at the moment, sorry, I forgot to show you. I've also got a Parker Duofold. That's the top of the line Parker.
I have several of those in different themes.
Very, very expensive. The Duofold was their top end pen.
I'll bring mine out next week.
And my favorite pen at the moment, this is I paid about $400 secondhand for, is a OMMANEY, right? And it looks like a piece of shit. It's Italian fountain pen, but the nib is so beautiful. Just how it writes. Oh, I can write superfluous bullshit for hours. And let me show you something, Marcus Freeman, Alan. Let me show you. I always keep a lot of blank cards in my desk because you never know when a lady could come up and just a simple love letter can get you many, can make many joy to many ladies with a simple love letter. I also like giving letters of thank you, like for thanks, like I give a thanks. I just want to say thanks. I've been on airplanes where I got really good service. I give them a letter. So I just want to say thank you. Here's a card to say thank you.
Well, Archie, I do something that's worthy of mentioning the moment I get on a plane. And my friend Travis would want me to mention it here because he's entertained by it. Whenever I get on a plane in very good spirits, I ask to speak to the purser. Now, the purser is always someone on an international.
I know the purser. I watch the Love Boat. Of course, I know what a purser is.
They're on the international flights. On domestic flights, they don't have pursers. They have the chief attendant or whatever.
Yeah.
But the first thing I do as I'm sitting down and loading up my hand carry is I ask for the complaint form. It's critical to get this complaint form. They will fuss around with it, but they'll get it. And then you list on a 3x5 card that I keep in my pocket everything from lack of ice, lack of chilled beverages, something not working, whatever it is. I list it. I fill out that form. They want to take it from me at the end of the flight. I don't allow it. I mail it in, and I make sure it's delivered, I assure you. And I get $10,000 to $25,000, 10 to 25,000 miles. Well, these are international flights numbers. Domestically, you'll get 2,000 or 3,000 miles, maybe 5. You mustn't exaggerate. You mustn't lie. But I list everything, and I don't complain on the plane. Of course, I just list it. I document it. Sometimes I take a picture or two, and off it goes. And I am credited for these inconveniences.
Very well done. I got to tell you, that's a tip that I think.
And the tip that has to go with it is the one my mother gave me, which is when you are demanding, and you should be, always be demanding. It's a thing. But when you are, remember something, never get angry when they don't give it to you. Just get disappointed.
Thank you. Just out of interest there, this is a friend I stay with in China there. This is her, that's my Breguet, and that's her 2 Rolexes. This is the sort of class of lady I like to pursue. Rolex president.
That Rolex on the left she has.
By the way, that's factory. The diamonds you see on all those Rolexes are factory dial and factory bezel. That is not aftermarket. I was mistaken. I thought it was aftermarket, but I was wrong. It has a different reference number for the watch because it has the and that one in the middle is what they call a Rolex Pearl Master. So just letting you know.
Next week, Archie, Boris, one of your followers, wants us to talk about some TikTok concepts, and I want to talk to you about that next week.
We got another super chat in here. We've got to wind the show up soon, but we just got to get these super chat. Patel Philippe, $5. Frishman, thoughts on private gentlemen's club like Tattersalls? So Tattersalls, it's a exclusive. Well, it's a members only. It's an invitation club for. In the past, they did not allow female members, so it's
All right.
basically
Let me address that as our closing point. I don't know
primarily
this
for landed gentry like Sir Walter Raleigh, but AC3 is up for nomination.
Oh my goodness. All right. So I don't know this particular club, and I presume we're not talking about nudie bars, for which I only went to once in some event that I was invited to. I am president for life of the University of Southern California, USC, Junior Bohemian Secret Society. Now, that has 22 male members, and we have 3 women members for every male member. And you get tapped on the shoulder and are asked to be a member, yay or nay. And if you say nay, you're not ever contacted again. But if you say yay, you are put through a rigorous process that might get you blackballed, literally white and black balls. We put into a box in a boardroom. We vote on you. You get to make a speech. So I am president of For Life. Mr. X, of course, is running it now. We call him Mr. X as the active executive director. And it is modeled after the very famous secret society called the Bohemian Grove in San Francisco, which all the moguls, presidents, elites are members of. Very much like the Bilderberg Society, the Council on Foreign Relations, with an exception. It is not about that group in San Francisco, and my group are social groups. We are not political groups. So we have Blue Collar Day as an example. We go to a bowling alley. We order meatloaf and mashed potatoes and peas. We, of course, don't bowl, but we want to be accustomed to the middle class activity. So we go there. We do Glitz and Glitter Weekend, New York City at the Plaza Hotel. We're all donned up. We have 3 dates for each member because, as I said, we have 3 women per member. So it's quite a fun group. It's all about fun. When I announced it publicly, and I am the founder of it when I was actually in college, they thought we were Nazis. I couldn't believe the nonsense. Nazis, homophobic. I just said, no, we're not Nazis and homophobic. Gays wouldn't want to be a member of a social group of heterosexuals. And certainly Nazis wouldn't be welcome here since 2 of the board members are Jewish. So we are just non-political and love everybody and are God-based.
So lovely indeed to hear from you.
And Pascal Philippe, that's good enough for another $5, for God's sake.
We got a super chat from Boris the Third PhD. Thanks for your show, Marcus. Your class act, Marcus. We're going to have to continue this next week. We've got suits, cufflinks. Well, you don't like cufflinks, suitcases, and sunglasses.
I like them on you. I like them on you. I don't like the way it is on me, but I think a gentleman wears cufflinks. I'll agree. And thank you, Archie, for having me. Next week, 6:30 California time.
We have some positives here. Look at this. Boris the Third PhD, $2. Thanks for the show, Marcus. Your class act. And Green Rush, $20. Archie, you are lucky to have Marcus. He is the king of the show now.
No. I am nominating Green Rush as the king, who actually doubled the contribution above my closest friend, Scott Conway. God bless him. And thank you, everybody. Have a happy Easter. And remember something to my Christian brothers and sisters. Jesus was Jewish.
Exactly. Jesus was Jewish. 100% right. So we'll be back next week. Marcus, it's an absolute honor to have you here. Many, many pieces of advice. I am struck by the wisdom of the words. You said to me, if you date or marry an impoverished woman, you never know whether she loves you for yourself.
That's right.
And the last thing we want to be as gentlemen or as men is played for a sucker. We don't want to be played for a sucker, do we?
No, it does happen, but you learn from your experiences.
So, guys, we'll be back next week. It's a very, very great show. So I just want to thank our super chatters. We had Randall K. Paul, Scott Conway. Thank you, Scott Conway. Patel Philippe. Dirk Digler Stigler.
Hi, Dirk.
Patel Philippe, Boris the Third, PhD, and Green Rush. Guys, that is the show for today. We will be back next week. Be good, be nice, and whatever you do, guys, just be nice to one another. The world is a great place.
I salute the pontiff.
See you next week, guys. There we go, Marcus. That was